in this video, I'm just going to do a mock AMA. Yeah, I don't have Forex on, but I figured why not just kind of show him how I think most people think an AMA should go. All right. I'm not the best video editor or whatever. I'm just trying to make a point here and hope you get it. And so, all right, everyone, stay tuned. How's it going, Forex? What do you think about the markets in general right now, huh? Why don't you just give us some updates on that? Thank you. So something back up. Thanks again for joining Busta-Grill today. Let's just get right into it. You're a busy guy. You got you got a lot of teams to manage, a lot of people out there doing great things for Drip and the animal farm. What are some of the latest updates for Drip and the animal farm? I mean, talk about animal farm first or Drip. I think the audience, wants to hear about specific things within each ecosystem. But in general, why don't you just give an overview real quick of Drip and animal farm and kind of latest updates since the last AMA we had. Man, so we know that there is always obstacles, right? Just regular business, regular outside of DeFi, right? Things happen, right? People get sick, people take leave. Maybe someone doesn't work out or a team doesn't work out, right? And you have to make some moves. What are some of the obstacles that have come up since the last AMA? Any roadblocks or any things that you think the community and everyone should know, just so they have an idea of everything that you guys kind of go through, kind of just in this little span of a couple of minutes talking about. I know it's really difficult, but I think it'd be great for the community to know what are some of the things that has happened since the last AMA. Why don't you go ahead and talk about those real quick? Man, that's so Forex. That is a ton. I mean, I think people need to realize that things do happen, right? And I think just as long as, you're being transparent like you are on this AMA, I think it just speaks volumes for you, the team, I guess you can say the good team of the people around you that are making the right moves and doing the right things for the community and for, obviously for you as a leader for them. I think that's super amazing. One of the things is with all those obstacles that happen, how did you address those things? How did you said you talked about this team having, you had 3 people doing really good things in terms of the designer, the manager, and say the back end person, but you had a front end UI person that just, man, I guess wasn't the best, right? But I mean, like I said, people have issues and people have things going on. So anyway, what did you do to address those things, and how do you think we're looking? So Forex, with all that said, when do you think the new Drip and the Picky Plinko UIs, with all the features, will be launched? And you can preface, which features you think will be involved with the launch of Drip, and then also with Picky Plinko, right? So it's super clear, right? You don't want anyone thinking something's going to be there and it's not. And it's okay to say maybe there's a couple of these things that are still maybe a little delayed just because of what you just told me. But in general, what do you, best case scenario, what would be included in the Drip UI and the Picky Plinko UI when they both launch? So Forex, man, thank you for that. I think that helps clarify a lot of things that the community is thinking about, both in terms of Drip and Animal Farm, right? I think everyone, I'll be honest, I would say the majority of everyone is supporting you and the team that's involved, that's putting all this stuff together, and then also obviously all of the community that's supporting you in terms of YouTube videos and helpful things and understanding everything that you guys are doing. Because to be honest with you, there's a lot going on, man, and it's so amazing. I know we always say we don't know how you do it, right? And plus you have the DAO that you are involved in, and then some other things. I'm pretty sure there's other things. You said you're just still trading, and you got that dog in the background, right? I mean, you got to take care of that dog, right? But in general, right, there's just so many things going on. I think your transparency is just really going to help us. Thank you so much. Here's another question for you, Forex. What are some of the potential issues that may occur and delay the release of either UI? Everything that you told me, right? Is there anything outside of your team, outside of what you're doing, that could delay some of the things that you're talking about, right? For Drip and Piggy Plinko, right? Say for Drip, the fiat on ramp, right? A triple D, is everything a triple D? Okay. Is there anything you can just call out right now, right, that you think could delay something that you're envisioning to release with Drip or Piggy Plinko? Like I said, this could be third party, it could be on chain, it could be, I don't know, I could be speaking like I don't really understand, but in general, like, is there anything outside of what you control that could hinder Drip and Piggy Plinko getting released? Great. Now, you talked about everything that's going on with Drip and Piggy Plinko. I think sometimes what gets confusing, and I think it's great if we can just clarify these, on this AMA and your future AMAs, is, you're doing so many things that are outside of what you think is going to get released on Drip and Piggy Plinko, right? And what are those things that you're working on in the background, right? Now, if you don't want to give out proprietary information, stuff that could help up, a competitor or whatever it might be, definitely don't say that. But in general, is there things that you're working on that are just like, man, I think you talked about prior, like a smart chat, you talked about lending, things like that, they're not going to make this next release for Drip or Piggy Plinko, but it could be something that, down the months and down the road in 2023, like, you can see coming out. All right, Forex, I'm going to ask you, obviously the hardest question, and I'm going to ask you the WEN question, right? Because in reality, people have to navigate through their lives based on times and dates, right? Like, when do I got to go pick up my kids, right? When does the movie start? When is dinner? What are the reservations? Right? Our minds are just set up that way to have an idea, so we can go ahead and plan accordingly based on what we think, something's going to happen, right? So specifically for Drip, just say if you called out 30 days from now, you envision have a launch, not a date for a launch, an actual launch. Right? Those are the things I think are hanging over yourself and the community and everyone around you in terms of the development team, because it's a hard question, right? No one can do what you guys do. And all the community is asking for is just more clarity around giving dates and times, because if you miss them, we're all human. We all miss things. We all forget. I say forget to pick up the kids, but I'm saying, like, sometimes we're late to go to dinner, right, with the in-laws. Sometimes we're late to get to the movie, right? Sometimes we're late to that baseball or football game, right? But things happen, and people are understanding of that. What people are not understanding of, based on my opinion, and also honestly, is sometimes it's difficult to understand when someone does not give an update on something that should have been updated in terms of a time or date. So for example, I'm supposed to meet my wife for dinner, right? I just don't show up. Now it could be I had issues at work, right? But what I would do is just I would update her and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be 15 minutes late. Go ahead and order. And it seems super simple. And I think what the problem that I envision, or I think might happen, is that you don't want to let anyone down. And I think what's happening is you are letting people down by not giving them an idea of a date of WE1. So I'm going to ask you that hard question again. So for Drip and the Animal Farm or Piggy Plinko, when do you envision having it released? Not a time to give us a launch date, and not another date, another time to give us another date for another launch. Now, if you miss it, you miss it. Just a straight answer, right? You say, you know what's April 13th right now? I'm thinking it's going to be May 15th. Done, May 15th. So Forex, you know what we're going to do? A week before May 15th, we're going to get back on this AMA. You're going to say, how are you towards that date, and you're gonna say, man, Busta, it's been difficult. We had this issue with this, another dev team or this third party. This didn't deliver like we thought they were going to do. So, in Forex, what we're going to say? Man, things happen, man. So what are you thinking now? Man, it's going to be at least a couple of days. Okay, so let's just say it's at least a couple of days. All right, everyone. So that was how I think, in general, an AMA should go. Now, I would love to hear you in the comment section telling me, you're freaking crazy, Busta. He will never do that. Or that's not how an AMA should go. It should be a hype. It should be a moon time. It should be everyone go on there and like hit buttons all day. Woo, 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 woo. And then like, everyone shouting, crazy things. I can't make sounds. So like, I'm just saying we need AMAs to be informative. They don't need to be places where we're just patting him on the back the entire time. I'm not saying these are like interrogations by no means. All I'm saying is like we need to get answers from this guy and the team in a ways that we can support them better and not just be thinking, all the time. That's all I'm doing with this. And I'm pretty sure, like I said, I've never done an AMA with Forex. I'll probably never do one with him. And I know it's probably scripted in the sense that he'll probably get on with whoever it is before the email. Hey, we're going to talk about this. I'm not going to give a date. I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to, please don't ask me about that. I don't have an update. We'll stick to this parameter, this one utility. And I think that's the problem because Forex does not understand what the community needs to hear in terms of what the messaging should be. Now, if I'm wrong, put it in the comment section. If I'm on my, off my rocker or whatever you want to call it nowadays, just let me know. Everyone, if you like this content, hit that like and sub. If you don't like it, hit thumbs down twice. You're not sub. I don't know why. Everyone, I'm really excited to see your comments on this one. See you on the next one. Peace.